Welcome back to Intables, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Countdown. I'm going to go over the top 5 stocks a lot of people have been talking about. I'm going to go over exactly what would have to happen for each one of these to break out, which indicators we would be looking for to have confirmation on these breakouts. And all I ask in return is you guys smash that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more chart updates on potential breakouts that we mentioned throughout the week. So let's jump into this one. So the first one I'm going to go over with you guys here is CEI. CEI was the largest breakout that we've seen in the last month and a half. One of the very few stocks that has been playing against the market when the market was dropping. CEI was going on up, but then we had a fake offering. This large sell-off did happen in the middle of the day. Not a lot of people expecting that, and in my opinion, I don't think anybody could have expected that. We did alert this one before. It did continue to drop down in the Intables room, but however, we did have that bounce back, as we did also mention that the CEO did mention that that was a fake offering and confirmed. We had that spike up. As you guys can see, we were looking to see if we can continue on past that $5 mark, and we could not continue on up. Again, we lost a lot of momentum at this point in time, and as you guys can see, we did gap down from there. Now, a lot of people talking about possible options that are going to be coming out for CEI. Again, there's no news confirmed on this, but as far as an options plan, as far as what might happen, I want to go over exactly what I'll be looking for as far as when that might happen, what I'll be looking for leading into that possible news. But before we do get started, I want to mention that we do alert penny stock and breakout alerts throughout the day. This last week, a few breakouts that we had was DATS testing $15, jumping up to $18, over 20% on that breakout. We mentioned DATS since the week before at around $8 before the week that as well. We mentioned DATS multiple times throughout the last few weeks. It has been one of the very few stocks that has been going up, which I'm going to go over after CEI right now. And another major breakout that we saw throughout the week, even though the market has been very choppy, we saw GROM halted at $3.66, jumping up to $6.14 on the day, over 40% on that breakout. And the largest breakout that we had of the week was PALT halted at $6.22, jumping up to over $15 on the day, over 120% on that breakout. So if you guys do want to see all of our breakout alerts of the day, go to instables.com in the description below, and you guys will never miss a breakout alert for it again. So again, here on CEI, again, we did have that gap down from that fake offering we did have. We had that gap up. We have been consolidating, again, leading into possible options news. I'm going to go over in the 1 hour with you guys here, and again, we're going to be kind of predicting when that news might come, assuming that CEI does not continue on up. But again, I'm going to go over exactly what would have to happen for it to continue on up. Again, we did have that gap down, so again, a lot of momentum to the downside at this point in time. We are going to be looking to see if we can continue to bounce off this 50-day moving average. If we do get some options news and we do continue with momentum and we break over this $4 mark with confirmation on volume, in my opinion, then we could have a breakout from there if we do get that news at this point in time. But however, if we do continue on down, I want to go over which levels I would be looking for to have a bounce off of. Again, this is the VPVR showing us the most amount of volume that was traded within the stock's time period, looking at very key levels to bounce off of here. As you guys can see, we had this continuation on up at this point in time. We have our VPVR showing us the next level that we'd be looking for is here at $2.56. If we did get that options news or possible options news at the point in time, we will be looking to see if we can respect this level here and continue on up from there. Again, options news could be a short attack. So again, we're going to be looking to see if we can get that momentum here. That's what I would be looking for on that possible options play. And then, of course, the same thing happening here if we do come down this level with that possible options news coming out at this point in time. If we do come down, assuming that CEI does not continue on up and break above our $4 and then $5 mark that we're looking for on that continuation on up, we would be looking to see if we can bounce off of this level here if that news did come out at that point in time here at $2. Again, very key level here at $2. If we do drop down below $2, then we can almost assume that we would probably be testing $1 at that point in time if we continued on down from this major breakout that we did have. So again, something to keep in mind is a lot of people have been expecting for CEI to be a possible nice long play. So we're going to keep that in mind also with that possible news coming out and looking to see if we can respect these levels, looking to see if we can break over that $4 rejection and then break over that $5 psychological resistance, very close to where we did get rejected to the upside here on this wick. So again, CEI, we will keep on the watch. We're going to see if they do come out with options and then see if they can respect these levels here at $2.56, $2, $1.69, $1.49. Again, if we do drop down below 150, in my opinion, then we could almost assume that we would be testing $1 at that point in time. We want to make sure we, of course, stay over $1, but overall, CEI has been on quite the run. We are going to be looking to see ultimately going into this week if we can bounce off the 50 moving average and continue on up past this $4 mark with that confirmation. And what I mean by confirmation is here on this buy pressure, on this momentum, as you guys can see, we do have the EMA line still above the MACD here on the 1 hour, showing us that we could continue, possibly have another bounce, possibly have a short-term play here if we do bounce off this 50 moving average against CEI. Very volatile, so we could have a possible nice bounce here for a short-term play as well. So again, we're getting that decrease in sell pressure. We may have a bounce here, and we're looking for that increase in buy pressure to break above our previous momentum that we did have up to that $4.85 mark. So again, CEI on the watch. We're going to be looking for that possible possible options news or possible bounce here on the 50-day moving average going into this week. So the next one I want to go over with you guys is DATS again. DATS, we mentioned multiple times. We mentioned since $8 a couple weeks ago. We mentioned $10 about a week ago. And then this last week, we mentioned testing that $15 mark, jumping up to the $18.50 mark. So again, DATS, as you guys can see here on the 4-hour chart, I want to go over this on the larger time frame, and then I'll zoom into the 5 minutes so you guys can see what we've been looking at. So again, here on the 4-hour chart, as you guys can see, we were looking to see if we can continue on with that momentum. We did not get that bounce here, as we did mention, I believe, on the 1-hour chart. And as you guys can see on the 4-hour chart, we are coming down to test this 20-moving average. Now, of course, if we are looking for a possible long in DATS and we're suspecting that they're going to continue to stay on a bullish trend, we're going to be looking to see if we can bounce off this 200-moving average. So going over to the 1-hour chart, I want to show you guys exactly which level we're trying to break above. As you guys can see, we did have this gap down. We had this doji candle come out right after we hit the 17 mark. We turned bearish exactly at this point. So we're looking to see if we can break it back over 17 as far as a momentum play. But as far as a long play on the 4-hour chart, we are testing that 20-moving average. If that is a move that you respect, then that would be a point in time that I would be entering into. But however, in my opinion, in this market, we're looking for momentum. We're making sure we do get more confirmation on this momentum, making sure we do get very strong confirmation, in my opinion, for swing plays. So again, DATS will stay on the watch. We're going to make sure we do get that momentum. And then going over to the 5-minute chart, as you guys can see, we have been continuing on down since we did have our gap ups in the last couple weeks. Now looking to see if we can continue on with that momentum and find a support here. Again, back on the 4-hour chart, looking to see if we can respect that 20-moving average and bounce off of it and continue on up, and assume that DATS would be continuously bullish at that point in time. We will be looking for that confirmation, and of course, we will be learning that one in the Insibles room if we do continue on up. Now, the next one I really want to go over with you guys here is MRK. MRK is on the more expensive side, but however, had amazing news on Friday, possibly insane news that we could be having a possible run-up with. Again, they came out with a pill that's going to be helping with 50% hospitalizations and COVID deaths. This could be catastrophic for MRK. We're going to see if we can get a run-up. We do have all-time highs at about $88 here on MRK. Looking to see if we can break all-time highs to break above our all-time high resistance here at $88. Looking to see if we can continue past this $88 mark and then break over that $100 psychological resistance here on MRK. So again, this would be the safer play. Again, this is a slower mover, but however, as you guys can see, has not been very slow on that news, and we could continue with that momentum if we do continue on up. Now going over to the 5-minute here on the shorter time frame, as you guys can see, we did consolidate most of the day after that morning gap up, and as you guys can see, we are trying to bounce off the 50-day moving average here on the 5-minute. Again, we are curling down, but again, this is the 5-minute. We could easily curl up and possibly have that momentum to the upside, and I would be looking for that volume breakout here on the 5-minute. As you guys can see, we had that major spike. In my opinion, if we can break above that momentum, that would be, in my opinion, one of the simplest plays based on the news they do have. I would be setting an alert here, click add alert here, and then you can put the alert right above your previous buy pressure point, so that way if it does break above this momentum, then we will be confirmed on a possible another major breakout. Again, making sure we do break all-time highs at that $88 mark and then break over that $100 psychological resistance. So again, we're going to keep this buy pressure point in mind, even though this one is a slower mover. Based on the news they have, in my opinion, definitely on the watch going into this week. We're going to continue to keep MRK on the radar. In my opinion, one of the very few large stocks that I will ever say this about. We're going to keep them on the radar. We could have a possible amazing breakout if they do continue with news. And Fauci this last weekend mentioned that MRK's pill is actually impressive. So we're going to see what kind of momentum comes in with MRK. We're going to keep an eye on this one. So the next one I really wanted to go over with you guys here is PLTR. A lot of people expecting for PLTR to be a great long play. I want to go over exactly what would have to happen for PLTR to continue on up. As you guys can see, we did have that descending wedge. As you guys can see, we had our bull flag at this point in time. We had that major breakout. We extended that bull flag over, and we did break above this descending wedge. We did have that continuation on up, and as you guys can see, we did have that gap down. Now we have this 100-moving average crossing back above the 50. We crossed above our previous high that we had here on this rejection at about 27.50, and we were looking to see if we can hold above our $28 mark here. And as you guys can see, we had that rejection to the upside because we got that decrease here on that buy pressure, showing us that momentum to the downside. So again, we did not get that confirmation. We did not have enough buy pressure at that point in time, and we got a large amount of sell pressure, showing us that increase in sell pressure, showing us that momentum to the downside here. So as you guys can see, we have these EMA lines below the MACD here, looking to see if we can cross back above the MACD to give us continuation possibilities here on PLTR. As you guys can see, we have the 20-day moving average crossing below the 50-day moving average at this point in time, looking to see if we can find a support. And in my opinion, we would be looking to see if we can continue on with the support here at $22. Again, as you guys can see, we are sitting at 24, just dropping below our VPVR, most amount of volume that was traded within the stock's time period, dropping right below that mark. So we could be coming down and testing this $22 mark and possibly continue on up from there. We're going to continue to keep this one on watch. Make sure we do, again, ultimately break over this $28 mark that we have been talking about to get more confirmation. Again, why this $28 mark? As you guys can see previously, we did have our confirmation on that breakout at this point in time when we got that increase in buy pressure at this point in time. So again, $28, extremely key to get confirmation here on PLTR. It has been the story of this momentum here on PLTR for the last few months. So the last one I want to go over with you guys here is SOFI. SOFI, a lot of people have been talking about. I want to go over exactly what would have to happen for us to continue on up. Now, we did mention previously we did gap up here and we did fill this gap. Now we were looking to see if we can hold over 1750. And as you guys can see, we could not hold this mark here. As you guys can see, we got that decrease in buy pressure. We did continue on down as we did get that increase in sell pressure. But however, we do have the EMA lines above the MACD showing us that we still can continue. This could be the beginning of a possible rally. We did mention that we were going to possibly, we have the arrow here, bounce off this 200 moving average or possibly bounce this 50-day moving average. As you guys can see, we are testing this 50-day moving average. Again, the 50-day moving average is the red line and the 20-day moving average is the yellow. And as you guys can see, we are testing the 50-day moving average with wicks to the downside, showing us that we are testing this mark, looking to see if we can bounce back over this 20-day moving average. Now, we do like how the 20-day moving average is above the 50, how it does show us a possibility on a continuation here on the EMA lines, as you guys can see, are above the MACD as well, showing us that we could continue. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. Again, we do have our previous alert set here on this momentum. As you guys can see, if we can break above this mark that we had here on this gap up, then we could have that possible continuation on up here. Now, again, we do have our previous gap up that we could not break above here from this gap up. So again, ultimately making sure we can break above our previous momentum to have that major breakout and continuation on that momentum. And again, confirmation on that breakout. Again, on this channel, I want to make sure we do focus on confirmation on momentum. Again, I like to look for confirmation on all of these breakouts because if we do get confirmation on momentum, then we have very little risk on the downside, in my opinion. And again, making sure we do get confirmation on these breakouts, making sure we do break above our previous buy pressure points to get confirmation on that momentum. As you guys can see, we did have this spike up, we did fill this gap, and we were looking to see if we can continue from here. But as you guys can see, we got that decrease in buy pressure. We did not break above our previous buy pressure point. However, if we did continue on up and we did break above it, then we would have had that possible break to the upside, and we probably would have broke above and held this $1750 mark and possibly tested this mark here at $22 and possibly continued on up from there. So again, definitely looking for SOFI to possibly continue on up, bounce off this 50-day moving average if this is the bottom for SOFI. Again, making sure we do have confirmation on the momentum. And again, if you guys do want to see all of our breakout alerts set today, go to instabulls.com in the description below, and you guys will never miss a breakout alert thread again. And everybody that has been supporting the channel, everybody that has been in the Instabulls room, everybody that has been supporting me from the Instabulls room as well, I appreciate it. Every one of you guys. Much love to every one of you guys. Hope you guys continue to have a great weekend. I will be posting the weekly watch list in the Instabulls room here shortly. And also, again, if you guys do like this video, it does help with you find it, and it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.